In this tutorial, we're going to show you how to play with your layers. So what a layer is it adds stuff to Google Earth. See, if I come down here, you can see stuff highlighted. That's because I have layers on top of it. Because I teach earth science, many of the layers that I use are the U.S. national parks. And I'm making this tutorial for my students who need specific layers on there. So the layers that you should probably have is, first of all, see how this has a square right here. So we're going to go to and uncheck that so that we don't have any layers to start off with. That's the easiest way. I believe in getting rid of all layers and then adding the ones I want. So you probably ought to have borders and labels, okay? And that'll give you some borders and things that are out there like that. You can see how these are added to it. Let's add, you can do photos. That makes it fun. You can click on a photo and see some of the things that are out there on Google Earth, which is a fantastic way of doing things. But it does take a little bit longer to load, so you got to be a little bit careful. So for this assignment I'm having my students do, I'm going to go ahead and uncheck that. You can have the oceans checked, but I usually don't. These are fun, but for earth science, not as valuable. You can even have the weather show up, which is kind of nice. If I click on weather, it'll actually show the clouds and do an overlay of the clouds around the earth, which is a really cool feature if you're talking about weather patterns. We're going to uncheck that for this. Gallery's got tons of things in here. 360 cities allows you to zoom in and see 360 angles. Every trail is fun. It's got a ton of trails. Gigapan photos are some of my favorite. If you click on Gigapan photos, you can click down here and let's just go to Yosemite. And what that'll do is we'll fly into there and it'll go whee. Okay, and when we get in here, it'll actually have high resolution photos. You can actually zoom in here and you could talk about certain rock features, things like that. But they're very high, good quality photos that are worth looking at. So, but for this assignment, I wouldn't have those checked. National Geographic's always fun. Volcanoes, when I do my volcano unit, I usually have those checked. Webcams can be fun as well. These little triangles will expand and give you more options, okay? But what I want my students to do, and anybody who else is following this assignment, you're going to click this more down arrow so that you have more options. And we want to look at place names. The place names will actually give the names like Mirror Lake, okay, and starts adding some names to it. And then we want parks, because that's always fun to have the different parks out there. And then we want U.S. national parks for sure, which will now kind of highlight some of these different things. You can hover over them. It'll tell you what park it is. It'll give you some history about that park. And then you can get rid of the trails if you don't want the trails in there and visitor facilities, but you can leave these on either way. And then the last one is, I'm a huge fan of Wikipedia in this because they do a good job having some articles like this. You can click on Berlin and it'll have different articles and stuff that you can check on. So these are some things that I have for this awesome geological coordinates assignment that I do. But there's tons of other layers to play with when you have time.